And brought to you live via New York City, this is Bombers Game Mike. I'm Paul D, and tonight the St. Louis Cardinals play host in Game 2 to the Philadelphia Phillies. And last night the Cardinals dropped the opener by a score of 6-5. They couldn't quite get it over the hill in their comeback. But that was last night, and this is tonight. So I'm going to get through the opening here because we're about 3.5 minutes away from scheduled first pitch. With that said, join the Game Mike roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from. Now the starting nine for both clubs. For the visiting Philadelphia Phillies, batting off at DH is Kyle Schwarber. Batting second at shortstop is Turner. Batting third in right field is Bryce Harper. Batting cleanup at second base is Luis Arias. Batting fifth at catcher, JT Realmuto. Batting sixth at third base is Stott. Batting seventh out in left field, Brandon Marsh. Batting eighth at first base is Baum. And batting ninth in center field, Justin Crawford. The starting nine for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now for the home St. Louis Cardinals. Leading off at second base, the NL rookie sensation himself, J.J. Weatherall. Batting second at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting third out in right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting cleanup at first base is Alec Burleson. Batting fifth out in left field is Jose Fermin. Batting sixth at shortstop is Mason Wynn. Andre Pallante. In 22 games this year, Andre is 12-6 with a 3.63 ERA. 124 innings pitched exactly and 90 strikeouts in that span, a whip of 1.22. Had an outstanding outing at Yankee Stadium this past Tuesday in the Bronx against the Yankees. 5 1/3, he did a great job. And he'll be facing the left-hander Cristopher Sanchez, who needs no introduction. He started the 2026 All-Star game for the National League in Philadelphia. And now taking the field are the St. Louis Cardinals. They are in their traditional white tops, white bottoms, birds on the bat, red letters and numbers, with the red cap and the white interlocking STL emblazoned across the front. Andre Pallante, he usually throws that four-seamer, the slider, the sinker, the knuckle curve, and the split-fingered fastball. As I have told you all many times now, that knuckle curve is the X factor for Andre Pallante. When it's doing what he wants to do, it's great. Defensive alignment for the Cardinals, Fermin on left, Pereira in center, Walker in right, Jordan at third, Wynn at short, Weatherall at second, Burleson at first. Pages is behind the dish and battery mate to Pallante, who's on the mound. So that's really where it is with Andre Pallante. And there's Donnie Baseball once again on the top step of the dugout there for the Phillies tonight. And Jeff Coleman with a $1 super. Thank you so much, Jeff. Between innings, I'm going to have to get to the roll call, get there in the chat, because we're only a couple of moments away here from scheduled first pitch. Kyle Schwarber getting ready to step into the box with Pallante on the bump. But thank you all so much for spending part of your Tuesday night here with us on Game Mike. I also mentioned we got Justin Beasley on Scorebug tonight, so be sure to show him your love. Best in the business. Now, lurching up into the box is Kyle Schwarber. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Kyle Schwarber steps into the box. Pallante steps off the bump, rubbing up that baseball. So Schwarber into the box. Pallante onto the bump, and yours truly stepping up to the microphone. Pallante looks in. He winds the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball down and in, and we are underway. It's an 0-1 count. Kyle Schwarber hitting .250 this year. Infield very much shaded towards right with the lefty Schwarber. Now the 0-1 from Pallante. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Picking it up out there is Pereira, who tosses it back in. That was just out of the reach there to the right of J.J. Weatherall. And now the Phillies have a runner on first with nobody out, following the leadoff single by Kyle Schwarber. It seemed to be a four-seam fastball that was literally middle, a.k.a. down Broadway. He is not going to be able to live there and succeed against this Phillies lineup. Now here is Turner. It's a righty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Pallante. He sets at the Birds. The first pitch. A slider up and in, and falling down to his feet was Turner. It was nowhere really all that close to his head, but it clearly disoriented. It's called a ball. The count is 1-0. It looked like it was a slider or a sweeper that did neither of those particular things. However, it's a wake-up call. Some people use coffee. Back into the box is Turner. It's a 1-0 count. Pallante sets at the Birds. Runner leads. The 1-0. Strike. Slider on the outer third below the belt. The count is 1-1. So Trey Turner this year is hitting .248, 17 home runs, 47 RBIs, a .695 OPS. Now the 1-1 pitch. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. It's good to see everybody in the chat. We'll get our roll call in here shortly between the top and bottom of this inning. Pallante sets. It's a 2-1 count. Schwarber leads off first. The 2-1. A sinker upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. That came in at 97 miles an hour. Pallante might be a little amped up for this one. And in fact, he actually pitches better on the road, which is kind of unusual for most of the Cardinals starters, given how well Busch plays to pitchers. He sets at the stretch. Runner leads off first. Now the 3-1. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and in. 94 miles an hour. The count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is the famous, nay infamous, Bryce Harper. Now with the full count, Schwarber leads off first with nobody out. Top of the first inning, no score. The 3-2 from Pallante. Swing, strike 3. Down, hack it goes Turner for the first out of the inning. So, Andre Pallante gets Trey Turner to go down flailing on that sinker down and away. Had just enough break on him. It was almost more of a cutter in a way, just given the more limited break of the pitch. Now here's Bryce Harper at 120 games, hitting .254 with 25 home runs, 71 RBIs, and 866 OPS. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off first with one out. The pitch. Hit down the left field line and out of play on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 0-1. So last night, they got Bryce Harper to strike out a couple of times, but they were very, very sure to pitch him carefully. Runner on first with one out. Top of the first inning, no score. Coming sets Pallante, the 0-1. A knuckle curve clear downstairs, the first one of the game. The count is 1-1. That's a real field pitch for Andre. When it's right, he's right, and the Cardinals are right. Now, he comes set at the stretch. Infield shaded towards right with the left-hander, the 1-1. Strike, four-seam fastball inside quarter below the belt. The count is 1-2. Oh, don't worry, Scott Reed. We're going to get our roll call in. Infield shaded on the right side at a modified double play depth with less than 2 out and a runner on first. Pallante sets the 1-2. A slider bounces out in front of home plate. It is a ball. The count is even at 2-2. On deck is the cleanup hitter, Luis Arias. Not exactly your prototypical 4-hitter, but that's the way Donnie Baseball is going with it. It's a 2-2 count. Pallante comes set at the stretch. The 2-2 offering. And the knuckle curve just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball. You could tell initially the home plate umpire wanted to ring up Harper on that on a called strike 3. If they challenged it, they might have won, so it's a 3-2 count. And Pallante steps off the rubber. 13 pitches so far for Andre. Harper stays in the box all the same. He sets at the Birds. The 3-2 pitch. A slider up and away for ball 4, so Bryce Harper works a one-out walk, and that'll put runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the first inning. So Andre Pallante is a little touch and go on his control at the moment, especially with that sinker. He needs to keep it down in the zone. That's very important for him. The knuckle curve has actually looked very good. I really thought that should have been a called strike 3 on the outside corner with the 2-2. Here's Luis Arias, righty-lefty matchup acquired from the Giants at the deadline. Runners lead off first and second with one out. Top of the first, no score. Here's the pitch. Hit out there into left field, and it slices just foul. A very lucky break there for Pallante and the Cardinals. The count is 0-1. Arias is hitting .316 on the year. He gets back into the box. 5 home runs, 48 RBIs, 10 stolen bases, a .788 OPS, and 452 official at-bats. Not bad for the 29-year-old second baseman. Runners lead. It's an 0-1 count. Pallante sets at the Birds. The 0-1. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. So the home plate umpire tonight, not big on the outside corner, much more favorable to the inside corner, and will definitely call the strike up in the zone. Same defensive shift here for the lefty Arias, modified double play depth. The 1-1. And it's squibbed out there towards short. He shows it over to second one, and that'll be it. It is broken up there by Bryce Harper on the slide. J.J. Weatherall could not put the relay to first, so Arias will reach on the fielder's choice. So the force at second erases Bryce Harper for the second out. Ooh. Ooh. I'm sorry, folks. Got a little something in my throat there. My apologies. Now here is JT Realmuto. 225, 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. He was not in last night's game. A wily veteran at this point. It's a righty-righty matchup. Runners at the corners with 2 out. No score, top of the first. Coming sets Pallante. The first pitch to Realmuto. Strike. Slider on the inner third below the belt. The count is 0-1. And Realmuto, not enamored with the call, having a little talk there with the home plate umpire. Keeping it civil. It's an 0-1 count. Runners lead off the corners. The 0-1 pitch. Fouled straight back on the sinker up and in. The count is 0-2 to JT Realmuto. That's a great name to say. I'm not going to pretend that it doesn't. It doesn't necessarily flow off the tongue as well as you like, but it's still fun. Infield defense heavily shaded towards left, with Burleson keeping the runner at first in the person of Arias. Come in, set. The 0-2 pitch. A four-seam fastball well upstairs. The count is 1-2. Yeah, Alan, I'm fine. Don't worry. I got a little something caught in my throat there. I didn't know what the heck it was. 20 pitches here for Pallante. It's a 1-2 count to the 5-hitter Realmuto. Paje sets up away. Now the 1-2. Fouled straight back on the sinker up and in. The count remains 1-2. So Pallante is doing his best to keep it all right here. 1 strike away from setting down this Philly club here in the top of the first inning. He comes set. Now the 1-2. A slider down and away. Not even tempted there is Realmuto, and the count is even at 2-2. Oh, don't worry about it. The Red Bull took care of it, and I also have water here. I'm a good leader of it sitting next to me. I am quite prepared tonight, but I do appreciate the concern, guys. Come in, set, the 2-2. A slider away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Stott, hitting .266 himself. Runners at the corners with 2 out. Top of the first inning, no score. Real Muto in the box. They'll be heading here. The 3-2 hit to the left side, picked up by Wynn to his right, deep at third. He throws to first in time to get Real Muto for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, a fielder's choice, and 2 left on. After 1/2 inning of play, it is the Philadelphia Phillies nothing, and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go to that chat. All right. So, we have ourselves some Bombers Game Mic roll call to get to. Ron Lyle hitting leadoff. Good evening, Paul and Chet. Great night here in Vermont. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Cheers to the Green Mountain State and you, Ron Lyle. Philip, Nola says, hey. Arain. Cheers, Philip. You are a trip, my friend. Brother Joe, number 4 on the likes, even though it says no likes. But I got in there laughing out loud war cry. Cheers to that. 4.5 screen on my phone with me. 007. And a beer. Alrighty, let's see here. Michael Bassan, go Cardinals, win and win. Cheers to that. Jeff Coleman, hey. Good to see you, Jeff. Alan, how is Mr. Paul? Very hot in Missouri. It's pretty hot here too, but we have a breeze, thankfully. All right, let's see. Yeah. Okay. All right, Rush Dash. I'm ready for St. Louis Cardinals to win. You and me both. Charles Acosta. Can't wait to hear the madness. Waiting for the bomber, the Paul D. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. All right, let's see here. ZZ Captain Mastiff. Hi, Paul D. Hey, ZZ Captain Mastiff. Michael Bassan, Fredericktown, Missouri now. All right. Anthony D. Michelle. Now we're back to the action. Here is the lefty, Cristopher Sanchez. I'll get to the rest of the roll call here in a moment, but I do see here that we have ourselves a $4 super chat, $5 super chat from Cat Snow. Great news. Cars will start wearing the Navy caps on the road starting this weekend. Yeah, I heard. Martian left, Crawford in center, Harper in right, Stott at third, Turner at short, Arise at second, Baum at first, Real Muto is behind the dish, and battery mate to Cristopher Sanchez, who's on the mound. That's the Philadelphia Phillies defensive alignment. Yeah, Cat, I heard about that. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Weatherall. A sinker in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I will get to the rest of the roll call here in the half inning. Now, Sanchez is an interesting pitcher. The 1-0 offering. A sinker downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Because he basically only throws 3 pitches. A sinker, a devastating circle changeup, and a hard slider. In modern baseball, they think you need at least 4. Now, the 2-0 to Weatherall. Strike, sinker, paints the black of the outside corner thigh high. The count is 2-1. Thank you so much, Cat. It's very generous and it's very much appreciated. Weatherall steps out of the box briefly. He's hitting .247 this year with 16 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 438 official at-bats. The 2-1 from Sanchez. Hit out there into left field. Going back is the left fielder, Marsh. He catches it for the first out of the inning. So, J.J. Weatherall flies out 7 for the first out here at the bottom of the first inning. And here is Ivan Herrera, tonight's DH. Be a lefty-righty matchup, and 445 at-bats this year. He's hitting .252 with 13 home runs, 50 RBIs, a .757 OPS. Coming Juan Sanchez, the first pitch to Herrera. Strike, sinker on the inner third above the knees. The count is 0-1. That came in at 94 miles an hour. Nobody on, 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score. Come in motion, Sanchez, the 0-1. hit down the right field line and into the stands, and the count is 0-2. Tony La Russa is in attendance there tonight. 81 years old. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Herrera's back into the box. Coming Juan Sanchez, the 0-2. A sinker up and in. It's just a little too far in and a little too far up, and the count is 1-2. Herrera has certainly been heating up of late. We've seen this in evidence, and certainly that was the case last night. He has been very productive, now back in the traditional two-hole. The 1-2 pitch. A changeup well down and in and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2 strikes. Yeah, Tony's great. The managers of his ilk are no longer in the game for a lot of different reasons. Now, the 2-2 offering. Swinging strike three. Swinging over the top of that changeup down and in is Herrera for the second out of the inning. So a strikeout swinging by Ivan Herrera for the second out. And here comes Jordan Alexander Walker. He had 3 strikeouts last night before breaking out in his 4th at-bat with an RBI single in a very critical part of the game. Lefty-righty matchup. Now, the first pitch to Walker. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Jordan's hitting .285 with 23 home runs, 83 RBIs in 115 games. This is 122 tonight. He winds the 1-0 and pops straight on up in the middle of the infield. Coming in is Baum. He calls for it. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After one full inning of play, it is scoreless going top of 2. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to the chat. All right, let's see where we are here. I have a lot of territory to cover here. Okay, let's see here. Okay, yep. So the Cardinals are wearing their Navy caps. People were listening. Scott Reed loving the whistle, of course. All right, let's see here. Lucas 99, let's go Cards. Let's go Cards indeed, Lucas 9. All right, let's see here. Try to get it all out there. Scott Reed, Biloxi, ... I'm just anticipating him. Darren put a question in there. I'll have to get back to it a bit, Darren, or you can simply just copy and paste it if you want. I'm more than happy to answer it. All righty. Let's see here. All right, see John, there we go. Howdy, friends. Hope everyone is doing well. Nice night for a Cardinals W. Knock on wood. You know it. All righty. Okay, Thurman. Good to see you there, Thurman. Well done, Cards. Jimmy Otero. Greetings, fellow Earthlings. A great save. There we go. Scotty Weatherby. Welcome back. Doge Bowl. Put the lumber on the cow-eyed, Cards. Well, they're going to try. Sanchez is not going to make it easy. DJ Nick Fly. Hi, Paul. Hope you're having a great day. Let's go Cards. I hope you're having a great day, too, DJ Nick Fly. All right, we're back here for the top of the second inning. Due up for the Phillies, Stott, Marsh, and Baum. So 6, 7, and 8 in their order against Andre Pallante out for his second frame. Now, the first pitch. A four-seam fastball in. It's a ball. The count is 1-0. Righty-lefty matchup here against the lefty-hitting Stott. No score here in the top of the second inning. Pallante takes a deep breath and winds the 1-0. A four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 2-0. He's missing up a lot tonight, which suggests to me either he's still a bit too amped up or he's not quite getting fully in his follow-through. Now, the 2-0 pitch. Strike, slider down Broadway. The count is 2-1. All righty. Okay. Now, the 2-1 offering to Stott. Hit it into center field, charging it is Pereira, but he'll play it on the hop, so a leadoff single to center off the bat of Stott. And the Phillies have a runner on first, nobody out, top of the second inning. He just lined it up over the infield, clean into center field. Pereira did not have a chance, so clearly Nate Church getting the day off, but you know who is back? Blaze Jordan. Here's Brandon March, the left-hander, 274, 16 home runs, 52 RBIs in 115 games, a 754 OPS. Runner on first, nobody out. From the stretch is Pallante, the first pitch to Marsh. Strike on the outside corner, thigh high. The count is 0-1. Every time I see Marsh, I just want to either call him Stan Marsh or Randy Marsh. Preferably Randy. Now he sets at the Birds. The 0-1. There's a fly ball out into right field. Coming in a couple of steps is Jordan Walker, camped underneath a can of corn, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. Stott has nowhere to go but first. So there's your first out. Now here is Baum, the first baseman. Alec Baum this year in 423 at-bats, hitting .227 with 13 home runs, 63 RBIs, a 647 OPS. Righty-righty matchup with a runner on first and one out. Top of the second inning, no score. Pallante sets at the stretch. The first pitch to Baum. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Looks like a fairly nice night for baseball in St. Louis, save for how hot it is. He comes set. The pitch. Strike, slider on the outside corner, about thigh high. The count is 1-1. 32 pitches so far for Pallante. If he had it his way, Baum here would ground out into a double play. Let's see what happens. Paez sets up away. Throwing over to first, back in time with the head first slide is Stott. So we'll await the 1-1 offering as Alec Baum gets back into the box. Coming set at the Birds is Pallante. Now the 1-1. Head out there into center field and in for a base hit. Coming around second, going to third is Stott. And that'll put runners on the corner with one out. Here in the top of the second inning, following the single to center by Baum. So runners at the corners with one out. It appeared to be a slider that hung middle. That's all it was, and he just went right out there, served it into center field. All Pereira could do was pick it up. Now, here is Justin Crawford, the spitting image of the old man. Sitting .266 with 2 home runs, 30 RBIs in 110 games, a 671 OPS. Righty-lefty matchup. Runners at the corners. First pitch to Crawford. A four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-0. Infield defense very much shaded towards right in that modified double play depth. Blaze Jordan playing well in on the grass there to Crawford. The 1-0. And he squibs it foul over towards the Philly on deck circle. The count is 1-1. So far, Pallante has been having trouble consistently hitting his spots. When he's gotten hit with stuff that's basically been right in the middle of the zone, so not quality strikes. This would be a good time for him to turn that around. It's good to see Blaze Jordan back out there at the hot corner. I was doing research on him last night. It just looked like they had him sitting. There was no explanation as far as I could see. Now, the 1-1 to Crawford. And it gets and slides away from Paez there, but he blocks it on the knuckle curve down and away. It is a ball. Both runners stay exactly where they are, and the count is 2-1. Basically, it hit Paez's left foot and rolled over behind Crawford in the lefty batter's box. But no one was going anywhere. Next pitch is going to be Andre's 37th on the evening with 1 1/3 innings pitch. It's a 2-1 count. He sets at the Birds. Now the 2-1 offering. Hit on up the middle, picked up by Wynn, who steps on second one. On to first, a double play, a 6-3 inning-ending double play, and that will do it. No runs, 2 hits, no walks, 1 left on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is scoreless going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's get back to the chat. All right, that was timely. That was the pitcher's best friend, folks. He just bounced it perfectly to Wynn, who was just a couple of feet from the perspective of home plate to the left of second, where he very easily was able to pick it up on a couple of high bounces, step on second one, and then get the runner at first. It wasn't even close, and that did it. So thank you all so much for spending part of your Tuesday night here with me on Game Mike. It is a pleasure to see you. All right. Yes. I know about the gong. I keep forgetting. That's my fault. I got to get it done. It's on me, guys. It's on me. But yeah, that's the story there. So, due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the second inning, Burleson, Fairmean, and Wynn. 4, 5, and 6 in the Redbird order. We are scoreless. So, Andre Pallante has bent a little bit, hasn't broken. He's been managing to find his way through some really, really helpful double plays so far. I think everybody can get on board with that. Okay. Cristopher Sanchez will be out there for his second frame of work. He's, like I said, he's kind of an anomaly because of the 3 pitches. But the sinker is devastating. Perhaps, ditto that circle change. And then he can do a lot with the hard slider. And, since going into 2025, he's probably been consistently over that full period the best pitcher in baseball. Save Mizorowski. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Burleson. Swinging strike on the slider, down and away. The count is 0-1. Alec, in the last 25 games, has hit .330 with 4 home runs, 15 RBIs, a .943 OPS with 11 extra base hits. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the second, no score. The 0-1. A slider down and away, actually in the dirt. Picked up on the backhand by Real Muto. The count is 1-1. There goes the chat. Now the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker, down and in. Swinging at a pitch well out of the zone. There was Burleson. The count is 1-2. Choir guy. Hey, Bombers, if the Cardinals don't win this series, does this kill their chances of making the playoffs? Well, first and foremost, choir guy, call me Paul D. We're all friends here. Now the 1-2. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Does it kill it? No. Certainly not mathematically. And I would not presume to tell the future, but I can definitely tell you for sure it's not doing your team any big favors if you are the Cardinals. The 2-2 for Sanchez. Foul tipped on the sinker in. Just getting a piece of that one was Burleson. The count remains 2-2. On deck is Jose Fairmean, who's out and left tonight. It's a 2-2 count. Real Muto sets up away. Now the 2-2 offering. Called strike 3. Sinker on the outer third thigh high for the first out of the inning. So Alec Burleson gets caught in the observatory for the first out. And Alec Burleson knew as soon as it crossed the plate that was strike 3 and he should have tried to protect against it. It was on the outer third. It was over the plate. But he knew, everybody knew. Now here's Jose Fairmean. Lefty-righty matchup. He's hitting .242. Nobody on with 1 out. The first pitch. A sinker away, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Jose this year hitting .242 with 5 home runs, 27 RBIs in 82 games, a .675 OPS. Sitting up away is Real Muto. The 1-0 from Sanchez. Hit out there in the left field and in for a one-out single off the bat of Jose Fermin. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with one out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, we still have no score. So a nice little bit of hitting there by Fermin. It looked to be a sinker on the inner third of the plate. It was about knee high. He just turned on it, served it out there to left. Marsh picked it up on a couple of hops. So a runner on first with one out. Now here's the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis, Mason Wynn. Runner on first from the stretch is Sanchez for the first time. The pitch. Slider, strike, inside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. That was Cristopher Sanchez's 20th pitch in 1 1/3 inning. And challenging it is Wynn. And the called strike is confirmed. So it's an 0-1 count, and the Cardinals lose one of their 2 ABS challenges in regulation. They have one left. The Phillies have both of theirs. From the stretch is Sanchez. The 0-1. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Mason Wynn, 242, 4 home runs, 48 RBIs. Sanchez sets at the letters. Setting up inside is Real Muto. The 1-1. A sinker upstairs ruled a ball. It was on the outer third, but it was definitely high. The count is 2-1. Now, it's definitely requisite for these Cardinal hitters to try to work Sanchez as best they can. But he does throw quality strikes in the zone. The 2-1 offering. A changeup down and in, nicely picked there in the dirt by Real Muto, and the count is 3-1. So did you all have a good Tuesday? I did. World was good to you? Got stuff done? Happy with what you did? Happy to be here now? I always like to know. Now, the 3-1, he holds the 3-1 pitch. Strike. Sinker paints the black of the outside corner, thigh high to Mason Wynn, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Next pitch is Sanchez's 25th. Real Muto sets up inside. The 3-2. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Picked up there by the right fielder. Going from first to third on the play is Jose Fermin, and that'll be a single to right with one out by Mason Wynn, and that puts runners on the corners with one out. Here in the bottom of the second inning, we still have no score. Mason Wynn has been playing in so many ways, in every facet of his game, much smarter baseball. They had him heavily shifted, right? And Turner there at first, he hit it past him, trying to keep him on the bag. Correction, that was not Turner. That was Baum, and it went into right field. Now here's Blaze Jordan, lefty-righty matchup. Runners at the corners with one out. The first pitch. A sinker strike down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-1. So he just hit it right over there, and it came off well. Blaze Jordan hitting .255 with a homer. Infield defense very much shaded towards left, with the exception of Baum holding on the runner there in Mason Wynn. Now the 0-1 offering. A changeup downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. On deck is Pereira. Runners lead. Next pitch is the 28th for Sanchez. He holds. He deals. And popped up behind the plate and out of play on the changeup down and in. The count is 1-2. Sanchez very much pulled the string there on the rook Blaze Jordan. He was well out in front. He was lucky that it ended up the way it did. So he knows how to change speeds on you, keep you off balance. That's part of his game. Real Muto sets up away. Now the 1-2. A changeup bounces on home plate. The count is even at 2-2. It's good to see Blaze back in the lineup. So I never saw anything about injury with him, though I did learn a little more about him. I'll share that in a bit. Infield defense, once again, very heavily shaded towards left. Come and set Sanchez. The 2-2 offering. Foul tipped and squibbed over towards the Cardinal on deck circle on the slider into Blaze Jordan. The count remains 2-2. Is early on in Blaze Jordan's career, I didn't know this about him. I found it in an article that was only published about 5 days ago, when he was 18 and he was just in the Red Sox system. Now, come and set Sanchez. He throws over to first, back in time as Mason Wynn was less than a 0 lead. And apparently he has dealt with, at that point, certainly, severe depression because he didn't think he could make it. He couldn't eat. He had no energy. He was in the hospital. I had no idea. But look how far he's come. The 2-2. Hit to the left side on a big hop. Picked out of third base. He throws the second one. On to first. A double play. A 5-4-3 double play. I believe the score bug there is not updating it. And they're very slowly coming off the field. Indeed it is, to end the inning. So, no runs, 2 hits, no walks, 1 left on. After 2 full innings of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the 3rd inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. No, obviously I'm not talking about Justin Beasley. I'm talking about Cardinals.tv. Because both teams were very kind of like tentatively coming off the field as if they were expecting an official replay review. It didn't end up happening, and then, Blaze Jordan, 5-4-3 double play to end it. So that's definitely not the way you want to do in a game where you're facing a guy like Cristopher Sanchez with an ERA in the mid-2s, 15 wins so far this season. How many opportunities do you usually get against a guy of his caliber? It's disappointing to say the least. All right. Yeah, it's righty heavy tonight just because they're facing the left-hander. So it's kind of the righty hitting platoon against the left-handed starter. He's been doing that for a few months now. So due up for the Phillies in the top of the 3rd inning, Schwarber, Turner, and Harper. 1, 2, 3. So back to the top of the order for the Phillies. Andre Pallante will be out there for his 3rd frame. Okay. Alrighty. Well, cool. Yeah, so much for that. A lost opportunity. A lost opportunity. But that happens sometimes, It's now it's requisite on Pallante to keep doing what he does. And he's bent so far, he has not broken. All right, we're back here for the top of the 3rd inning. Here is Kyle Schwarber. Singled to lead off the game. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Schwarber. A slider down and away. The count is 1-0. Justin Beasley. Good evening, chap. Be sure to drop a like. Please subscribe as well. We're on the road to 1.4K. Really goes a long way to help the stream. Never miss a call again. The 1-0. Hit over there to the right side. Picked up there well wide of first by Burleson. Throws to Pallante covering for the first out of the inning. So Schwarber bounces out 3-1 for the first out here in the top of the 3rd inning. And here comes Turner. Turner is 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight. Hey, look, Tony is in the booth. How about that? Who didn't see that coming? Now, that is a guy that I can be very contented that they spend some camera time on, because he might actually provide some helpful insights into the game. I feel like that is far too infrequent otherwise. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Turner. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. 96 miles an hour out of the right hand of Pallante. Comment winds Pallante. The 1-0. Strike. Slider on the outer third at the knees. The count is 1-1. Drinking that water. You need it. He comes motion and deals. A knuckle curve just misses the outside corner and a bit low. The count is 2-1. So nobody on with one out. Top of the third inning, no score. We've had threats, but nothing across the dish yet. Now the 2-1 pitch. Fouled back on the sinker, up and in. The count is 2-2 strikes. Where will Pallante and Pages go from here? Do you go to a knuckle curve? Do you go to the slider? Do you go away? They're going away. The 2-2. Called strike three. Knuckle curve on the outside corner at the knees. Challenged immediately there by Turner. He might have a point. Let's see. ABS challenge incoming from the Phillies on the called strike three. And the call is overturned. It is low. And it missed by 0.2 inches. And the count is full. 3-2 strikes. That was a really good knuckle curve. The only problem was it didn't get past the ABS. So, Philadelphia retains both of their ABS challenges in regulation. The 3-2. Hit down the right field line. Giving chase is Burleson, but it goes about 3 or 4 rows deep over the big netting. And the count remains 3-2. Nobody on, one out. Top of the third inning, no score. Pallante comes motion and deals. A sinker upstairs, that's ball 4. So Turner works a one-out walk here at the top of the third. Phillies have a runner on first. So that ABS challenge right there turned it all around. Turner made a good call, went for it. He's certainly not regretting it. Now here comes Bryce Harper. Walked in his first plate appearance. Righty-lefty matchup from the stretch is Pallante setting up inside Pages. Here's the pitch. Hit to the left side. Picked up by Blaze Jordan. He throws the second one. On to first. A double play. A 5-6-3 double play to end the inning. So, no runs, no hits, one walk, nobody left on. After 2.5 innings of play, it is scoreless going to the bottom of the third inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 3. Let's go back to the chat. Gong, gong. See John. Whoa, I didn't know that B. Jordan having a good sports psychologist on staff is critical. It was more than that. It seemed to be almost, he was almost as he was dealing with, actual, true clinical depression. It's not like an Alex Rodriguez who could be a total head case. He was dealing with some very serious symptoms of mental illness. He was actually hospitalized for it. And that's one of the things that stuck out about it. And this, I think, was in Salem, Virginia, a couple years ago at least, shortly after he got drafted. Luckily, his parents were in town on a pre-planned visit, but it really shook him up. I'm not going to get into all the details of it. If you want to go out there and look for it and get it yourself, that's, of course, I'm totally copacetic with that. But it does give you a little bit more insight on the young man who's manning the hot corner here tonight and has been essentially since the middle of June. Yeah, tell me about it, C. John. All right, due up in the bottom of the third inning for the Redbirds, Pereira, Pages, and J.J. Weatherall, 8, 9, and 1 in the Redbird order. So I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Tuesday night here on Game Mike. It's great to spend time with you. What did you miss, Rush Dash? A lot of T's, no runs, 3 double plays so far that Pallante's induced to my count. Second inning in a row where he's ending it on a double play. And we're back for the bottom of the third inning. Pereira is going to stand in against the lefty, Cristopher Sanchez. He's out for his third frame. I really hate those dugout interviews mid-game. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch, Pereira. Fouled down the first baseline on the sinker away. The count is 0-1. So Sanchez throws that sinker a lot. A whole lot. But it works for him. He gets a lot of the results he's looking for with it. The 0-1. A changeup strike on the inside corner above the D's to Pereira. And the count is 0-2. Hey, Eric. How's it going? Sanchez looks into Real Muto, who sets up inside. The 0-2. A slider down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. So last week, the Cardinals picked up Pereira after he was DFA'd by the White Sox, and they DFA'd Nelson Velasquez. So it's kind of a one-for-one swap there, if you will. We'll see how it turns out. He's not exactly a long-term prospect. Now, the 1-2. Check swing on the changeup down and away. Did he go around? Yes, says the home plate umpire for the first out of the inning. So Pereira could not hold up his swing on a changeup away that was almost in the dirt. Talk about doing Sanchez favors. That's the first out of the inning. Sanchez has thrown 35 pitches so far. Here's Pedro Pajes. Lefty-righty matchup. Common Juan Sanchez. The first pitch to Pajes. A changeup away, and the count is 1-0. Pajes is hitting .206, 4 home runs, 11 RBIs, a .574 OPS, and 155 at-bats. Common Juan Sanchez, the 1-0. Strike, slider down Broadway, and the count is 1-1. Corey, evening all. Go Cards, beat the Phils. Good to see you, Corey. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 1-2. Nelson Velasquez went to the Houston Astros. I wish him luck. Nobody on with 1 out. Bottom of the third inning, no score. It's a 1-2 count here to Pajes. He gets into the box. Sanchez looks into Real Muto, setting up away. Now the 1-2 pitch. A changeup bounced out in front of home plate, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is J.J. Wetherell, who is 0 for 1. Come in motion Sanchez and deals. Fouled back on the sinker upstairs. The count remains 2-2. Yeah, Pajes on this team. The 3 catcher thing, or maybe 2.5 really. I don't really know how to judge it. All I know is I don't really love it, say the least. 40th pitch there for Sanchez. Now the 2-2 offering. Hit on up into center field and in for a 1-out base hit off the bat of Pedro Pajes. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the third inning, there is no score. So Pedro Pajes using the lumber there, sending it back right where it came, albeit at a slightly higher launch angle, into center field for the single. Now here is J.J. Wetherell. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup with the runner on first and 1 out. J.J. is 0 for 1. Real Muto setting up away. The first pitch from Sanchez. A slider down and away. It's definitely a ball. The count is 1-0. Yeah, he was serviceable, Joe, until he wasn't. It's one of those things, you know. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, sinker on the outside corner, thigh high. The look on J.J. Wetherell's face is slight bemusement, and the count is 1-1. It just got to the point where it was just he either crushed it or he struck out, and then he just struck out too much. Runner leads, the 1-1. Hit to the right side, picked up there at second, tossed to second, 1. On to first. A double play, a 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no walks, nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, and you're enjoying yourself, you think I'm doing a good job, and you believe I've earned it, please do leave a like. Helps out this channel More than I can tell you, more than you can know. In addition to pushing it out there to other Cardinal fans that are having a lot of trouble following this team this year. We all know why. And if you're new here or you've been back multiple times and you like what you see in here, well, hit subscribe. What have you been waiting for? Love to have you aboard. With that said, scoreless going top of 4. Okay. Yeah, a lot of double plays here tonight. It almost anomalously so. I mean, obviously, it'll balance out probably by the end of the game, but a lot of inning-ending double plays. Due up for the Phils in the top of the 4th inning, Arias, Realmuto, and Stott. 4, 5, 6 in the Philly order. Let's see here. Yeah, Eric, I actually just mentioned I was responding to you. I said, yeah, I wish him luck. Yeah, I saw it when you put it in there earlier. All right, let's see here. All right. Well, whatever the case is, this has been certainly, I don't know if it's exactly the pitching matchup as we expected it to unfold, but it's been compelling in its own way. Now, we are back here for the top of the 4th inning. The camera is focusing on the retired Darryl Kyle, number 57 there in the Cardinal dugout. And actually, they have her daughter, his daughter Sierra, in the booth there. Ooh, 25 years, folks. Stepping into the box is the lefty second baseman Arias. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch from Pallante. Strike. 4-seam fastball, outer third thigh high. The count is 0-1. Yeah, no worry, Eric. I wish him luck. You know, he can carve out a role for himself, I've no doubt. Now, come in motion, the 0-1. A splitter bounces out in front of home plate. It is a ball. The count is 1-1. I'd be very curious to know if I had the opportunity to ask Don Mattingly, Donnie, why are you putting Arias in the 4-hole? And I'd be curious what his answer is. But I can tell you this. Over 3 decades after he retired, especially for a player that never won a championship, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the slider, up and away, and the count is 1-2. He is by far one of the most beloved Yankees that is alive today. It's almost unconditional. It's interesting to see. That was the 50th pitch from Pallante. Now, the 1-2 to Arias. Hit on up the middle, picked up on a short hop by Pallante. He throws over to first. Not a great throw, but he keeps the foot on the bag. Does Burleson to get Arias in time for the first out of the inning. So it was a number out there to the mound. Pallante picked it up. He threw it over to Burleson. It was somewhat wide, but, you know, Alec Burleson having roughly the same physical makeup as the Sasquatch was able to get the ball in his glove while keeping his foot on the bag to get Arias. And that's the first out of the inning. So Arias bounces out 1-3 for the first out here in the top of the 4th. Yeah, Alec Burleson, built like the Sasquatch. Now the first pitch to Realmuto. A 4-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. They came in at 95 miles an hour. It's a righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, no score. Now the 1-0 offering. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. It's interesting watching Pages try and frame those pitches. And to what extent is that skill going to be valued in the ABS era? The 2-0. Strike, slider on the inner third below the belt. The count is 2-1. Because something I've said in the past, some of you regulars will remember this. For catchers especially, they're going to take their success with ABS challenges personally. The 2-1 offering. Swinging strike on the sinker up and into Realmuto, and the count is 2-2. They're going to take their stats regarding ABS challenges, how successful they've been and all of that, and that is eventually going to turn into, one, a commodity on the free agent market, and most definitely a commodity in any kind of potential trade. They're going to turn away and commoditize it into dollars and cents. I'm curious to see how that plays out. Now, the 2-2 offering. A slider bounced out in front of home plate, actually pops over the lefty batter's box, and the count is full. Now they're once again bringing the action away from the field and into the booth. It's a 3-2 count. Pallante coming wide. The 3-2 pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Witherell on the ground. He throws to first in time to get Real Muto. So Real Muto grounds out 4-3 for the second out. And in that case, they were very much shaded over towards left. In the case of Witherell, he was maybe about 6 feet to the right of second from the home plate perspective. It was hit kind of slow. It was a very slowly developing play, but he charged in on it. And then, of course, planted himself, put a throw perfectly to Burleson for the second out. Now, the first pitch to the lefty, Stott. Strike, knuckle curve down Broadway. The count is 0-1. So nobody on with 2 out. Top of the 4th inning, no score. Stott is 1 for 1 tonight, the 0-1 offering. Hit down the left field side and out of play on the splitter up, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes. 83 likes, 213 people in the chat. Please hit that like button. Thank you, Brother Joe. Pallante winds, and Pallante deals. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Harold Houseman just dropping in to say hi for a sec, finishing up doing some shopping. I should return sometime around the 7th. Looks like we got a good one going. We sure do, Harold. Can't wait to have you come on back. Have fun shopping. 60 pitches here for Pallante. He winds the 1-2 to Stott. A 4-seam fastball well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. On deck is Brandon Marsh. Coming wide is Pallante, the 2-2. A knuckle curve down Broadway, but very much low, and the count is 3-2. So nobody on, 2 out. Top of the 4th inning, no score. Pallante has thrown 62 pitches so far. It's a 3-2 count here to Stott. Righty-lefty matchup. He comes wide. The 3-2. Ball 4 on the 4-seam fastball. Well upstairs, so Stott works a 2-out walk. And the Phillies have a runner on first with 2 out here at the top of the 4th inning. Darryl Kyle Voronor. Darryl Kyle. Specifically his daughter, Sierra. Yeah. We all remember, unfortunately. It's also weird because it only happened like 2 or 3 days after Jack Buck died on top of that. Now, here is Brandon Marsh. Righty-lefty matchup, runner on first. Marsh is 0 for 1. From the stretch is Pallante. And here's the first pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I know, Joe. I know. The 1-0. A 4-seam fastball well inside. The count is 2-0. So that's really been the interesting thing about Pallante here tonight. He's made the pitches when he's had his back up against the wall, but he hasn't had his usual command. He's just been really relying on his defense, and quite successfully, at least at this point. He sets at the Birds, the 2-0. Strike, 4-seam fastball outside quarter thigh high. The count is 2-1. Pallante looking in there to Pages. Stott leads off first. He comes set. Throwing over to first. Back in time with the head first slide is Stott. The count remains 2-1. Something that is interesting about Pallante. For a right-hander, he can get a runner on first napping for a pickoff. Did it in his last start. The 2-1. There goes the runner. Here's the throw. Here's the play. There's the tag, and he is called safe at second. So Marsh takes the ball, and Stott manages to steal second. I thought for sure that he would have been out there. Let's see here on the replay. He got a great jump. A nice throw there by Pages, but it ended up going and trailing away from the bag towards the right field side. And in that case, Mason Wynn actually just in the way. Did they get him on the arm? I don't think he did. And in that case, Stott managed to get around the tag applied by Wynn. So it's a 3-1 count. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the slider, up and away, and the count is 3-2. I really thought Pages put a good throw on it, but it ended up tailing to the right field side of second. Wynn had to go out for it, and he couldn't end up applying the tag in time to Stott. Runner leads off second. It's a 3-2 count. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Hit to the left side and picked up on a line by Blaze Jordan for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, one walk, one left on. After 3.5 innings of play, we are scoreless going to the bottom of the fourth inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 4. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. Well, thank you, Philip. I do appreciate that. Yeah, this one has actually really been cruising here. We've only been playing a little, almost exactly an hour. We're getting into the bottom of the fourth inning. Kind of the nature of pitching duels, I guess. They tend to fly a bit more. I think it was a heart attack of some kind, Choir Guy. I think it was a heart issue. Or a cerebral hemorrhage, maybe? It was a heart attack. Okay, Justin, all right. Yeah, they definitely do, Lucas. No question. Due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the fourth inning is Ivan Herrera, Jordan Alexander Walker, and Alec Burleson. They're all 0 for 1. Herrera and Burleson each have a strikeout to their total here tonight. They'll face Cristopher Sanchez, who's coming out for his fourth frame of work. And he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good. You know, they had that opportunity, bottom 2, didn't pan out. But Pallante's keeping him in this game, as is their defense. Yeah, well, give the initial credit there to Justin Beasley, you know. But, yeah, that's my understanding of the situation. I mean, it's hard to think about. And then, of course, Joe Girardi, you know, making that announcement to the fans at Wrigley Field, how the game had been postponed, the whole thing. It's not fun. Those were not always very fun times in the early part of the millennium, that's for sure. All right, we are back here for the bottom of the fourth inning, no score. Herrera, Walker, and Burleson, 2, 3, 4 in the Cardinal order. They'll face the lefty Cristopher Sanchez. He has 3 shutout innings to his credit. It's a lefty-righty matchup with Herrera. Here in the box, the first pitch from Sanchez. A changeup away, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Oh for 1 with the strikeout. 45 pitches here for Cristopher Sanchez. Setting up inside Real Muto, the 1-0. Swinging strike on the sinker, down and in. The count is 1-1. No, Sanchez is very good at using that 1-2. Just keeping him off balance and moving it around the strike zone. The 1-1. Strike, sinker on the inside quarter, thigh high. The count is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the fourth inning. There is no score. Here in the second game of 3 in this midweek set down at Busch between these two clubs. They finish it up tomorrow afternoon. The 1-2. A sinker well inside and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. You know, I don't know when he qualifies for free agency, Joe. I don't. All of that's going to be very soon up in the air, and I can't say I'm particularly looking forward to it. Now, the 2-2 offering. Foul tipped on the sinker, down and in, so staying alive there is Ivan Herrera, just getting a piece of that sinker. And the count remains 2-2. Hey, John Wilms. Hey, everybody. John Winsville says, hey. Now the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike three on the slider inside for the first out of the inning. So Ivan Herrera goes hacking, swinging through that slider from Cristopher Sanchez for the first out. 50th pitch for Sanchez in 3 1/3 inning of work. John Wilms. Hi, everybody. John Winsville says, hey, whirlwind this week. Cheers, Winsville, Missouri. Good to see you, John. How you doing? Now, here is Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 1. Now, the first pitch from Sanchez. A changeup called strike on the outside corner. A very generous call, not being challenged. The count is 0-1. And with the one ABS remaining, the Cardinals have to be very particular about how they decide to use it. Now, he winds the 0-1. A changeup down and away, and the count is 1-1. Oh, yeah, that's right. Remember, you mentioned that yesterday, Justin Beasley. We've been meaning to ask John. I don't think John was here yesterday. Real Muto sets up away the 1-1 offering. A sinker away ruled a ball. The count is 2-1 to Jordan Walker, who's 0 for 1. Looking in is Sanchez. He comes motion. The pitch. A changeup down and away, and the count is 3-1. So they've been trying to do the off-speed stuff down and away, down and away, down and away to Jordan Walker. And this at-bat, well, at least this plate appearance at the very least, he hasn't gone fishing yet. Now he's in the hitter's count. Real Muto sets up away. The 3-1 pitch. Hit down the right field line and into the stands on the sinker away, and the count is 3-2. Because that clearly is the book that Major League Baseball has developed on Jordan Walker in 2026. And he has to find a way to make that adjustment one way or another. However, when they do miss, they tend to make a big mistake. That's the one thing you can say about it. For most of 2026, not so much the last 4 weeks. Setting up inside is Real Muto, the 3-2 to Walker. Hit down the left field side and foul, and the count remains 3-2. How did Dobbins do last night? He was okay. He wasn't great. Jerry Wallace. Hey, Paul D., we need a Cardinals win bad. Yeah, we do. Infield defense playing slightly towards left, but very much back. The 3-2 from Sanchez. Hit foul down the right field line, out of play on the slider up. The count is 3-2. Back into the box is Jordan Walker. Looking in is Sanchez. He comes motion and deals. There's a fly ball out into center field. Charging in is the center fielder, Crawford. He comes in. He makes the catch on the run for the second out of the inning. The Phillies had Jordan Walker played very much back in terms of their outfield defense. Justin Crawford making up the territory he did, where he could have easily have run no less than 20 yards, maybe slightly more, to get to that baseball in time and make it look easy. Definitely speaks to his incredible gifts. Now, the first pitch to Burleson. A slider down and away, and the count is 1-0. Alec is 0 for 1 with a strikeout tonight. Nobody on with 2 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, no score. Next pitch is Sanchez's 60th. Setting up away is Real Muto, the 1-0. A sinker away, it's ruled a ball, and the count is 2-0. And it really didn't miss by much. A good eye there from Burleson laying off that thing. Looking in is Sanchez. Setting up away is Real Muto. The 2-0 pitch. Hit into center field. Coming in is Crawford, and it falls in for a 2-out single into center off the bat of Alec Burleson. And the Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. There is currently no score. So a nice bit of 2-out hitting there by Alec Burleson. Now, stepping into the box is Jose Fermin, who's 1 for 1. Had that single to left center field in his first at-bat. Hall of Fame induction for the Cardinals. Molina and Pujols in that one. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch. A sinker strike down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-1. Yeah, Gastelum had a good night last night. A very good night, in fact. Very much so, Lucas. Now, Sanchez sets the 0-1. A slider downstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Cristopher Sanchez is looking in. He sets at the letters. Burleson leads off first. The 1-1 offering. Hit to the left side. Picked up there. Well wide of third by the third baseman. Throws to second for the force to get Burleson for the final out of the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no walks. Nobody left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going top of 5. Good to see you, Ethan. Welcome back. So, yeah, they're doing the Navy Caps on the road for the remainder of the year when they're playing on the road. And, boy, what a turnaround on that. I know that got a lot of traction on social media and a little bit on the airwaves. But we talked about it, too, here. Think someone was lurking? I don't know. AL and NL MVP. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, right now in the NL, I mean, PCA seems to be a early favorite in that regard. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing, LA. Completely. Which also includes, reining in the salary at the moment, give them more flexibility whenever that comes about. Even though I'm sure any existing contracts will be grandfathered in, I don't think they're going to go to court over, contracts signed in good faith when it was under the existing CBA at the time. I don't think that's a winning argument for most judges to overturn such a thing. But yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Because if we do end up with a salary cap, this is something that all 30 clubs are going to have to do, which is be very, very particular about their free agent signings and develop a lot from within, do a lot of wheeling and dealing. Now, here is Andre Pallante out for his 5th frame. He'll face Baum, Crawford, and Schwarber, 8, 9, and 1 in the Philly order. Righty-righty matchup, and the first pitch to Baum. Foul back on the sinker upstairs. The count is 0-1. Could they win? If they went on a tear, could they win the division, is what you're asking me. The 0-1 pitch. A knuckle curve down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Well, that would mean, I know the Dodgers have lost 8 of their last 10, but Arizona's still 7.5 back. That would be a real collapse for LA. Here's the pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 1-2. Yeah, that would be a huge collapse on the part of LA. They would still make the playoffs, obviously, as a wild card team, but it's hard to imagine that, they'll play at least 8 games worse than Arizona for the remainder. The 1-2. A sinker up and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Do I think they will lock in Jordan Walker? Good question, Cat Snow. I'm sure they'll probably try, but they're going to have to do it on a slightly different basis than Weatherall. The 2-2. Hit out there into right center field. Going back is Pereira in front of the Bet 365 time. Makes the catch against the wall, on top of the wall for the first out of the inning. What a play by Pereira. Out there in right center field. He went back, tracked it back, jumped up against the top of the wall, crashing against the Bet 365 sign. Nothing but leather for the first out of the inning. That was an outstanding play. Oh, back in the day, we might have called that a web gem, folks. There's your first out of the inning. And boy, he was dropping a lot of F-bombs celebrating that with Pereira. He's earned it. 74 pitches for Pallante. Now, here is Justin Crawford, who's 0 for 1. Righty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A slider bounced out in front of home plate. It is a ball. The count is 1-0. So the basis on which they would have to do this with Jordan Walker would have to be different than Weatherholt for a number of reasons. One is JJ gave the team a very team-friendly deal in so many ways. The 1-0 pitch. Foul tipped on the four-seam fastball inside. The count is 1-1 to Crawford. It will have to be for more money. And, you know, presumably if he's on this upward trajectory and you're buying out a couple of years of his first 2 years of free agent eligibility, the 1-1. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball inside. The count is 1-2. That's going to be a mighty big price tag. Crawford is 0 for 1, grounded out into a double play. However, doing it now, the price of those first 2 years of free agency will cost a lot less now. The 1-2, hit out there to left field. Right there is Fermin, makes the catch on a line for the second out of the inning. The thing almost took off on him a little bit there. He kind of misjudged it for a moment, but recovered, did Fermin, and left. So 1-2 down here. Now back to the top of the order. And Kyle Schwarber, who is 1 for 2. So I think they like to do it, but it's going to take more money, and the premium will be larger. The first pitch. A knuckle curve down and in. The count is 1-0. Next pitch is going to be Pallante's 80th and 4 2/3 innings of work. Righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out. Top of the 5th inning. There is no score. Coming winds Pallante, the 1-0. A knuckle curve downstairs, and the count is 2-0. But, and even though all of these extensions are risks, hey, Nick, how's it going? Good to see you, For Life. He's probably one worth taking. The 2-0 to Schwarber. Strike, slider on the outer third at the knees. The count is 2-1 to Kyle Schwarber. Now, the 2-1 offering. A four-seam fastball up and in. It's ruled a ball. It's very close, but they're not going to challenge it with the one remaining ABS. The count is 3-1 to Kyle Schwarber. He comes motion. The 3-1 pitch. Fouled down the left side and out of play on the slider, and the count is 3-2. So it's a 3-2 count here. Pallante looking into Pies, getting his pitch com together. Infield defense very much shifted towards right with the lefty Schwarber. Now he winds the pitch. Check swing on the four-seam fastball upstairs. Did he go around? Yes, says Blue down the third baseline. For the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. 1, 2, 3, go the Phillies. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. There is no score. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 5. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. Okay. Roger Bassman, Tucson checking in. Crisp sub 100 degree day. Game Mike's personal correspondent reporting in from our local Stars Corona. It's good to see you, Roger. When do you think they'll call up Baez? That's a good question. They're definitely taking their time with that. I know there's the whole rookie eligibility thing, which I'm virtually certain is in play here. I don't think there's any reason it wouldn't be, especially for a cost-conscious Cardinal team and just everything having to do with how service time is added up and whatnot. I think we'll probably see him before the end of the year. I really do. I mean, it'd be kind of weird if they didn't, because they want to at least be able to get some kind of look, some kind of experience on the major league level for the guy. So I'll probably have him before the end of the year. But if you're asking me what I think the exact timetable will be, I don't know. Okay. So due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the fifth inning. Wynn, Blaze, Jordan, and Pereira. 6, 7, and 8 in the Redbird order. Sanchez out there for his fifth frame. Lefty-righty matchup. And the first pitch to Mason Wynn. Strike, sinker on the outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Mason Wynn is 1 for 1. He had that single to right. Lined it right past Baum. He comes motion. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Mason Wynn. The count is 0-2. Well, he was useful for a time, John, but after a while, it was just one strikeout after another. The 0-2. A sinker, called strike 3 on the inside corner. A very generous call by the home plate umpire favoring Sanchez. So down looking goes Mason Wynn for the first out. That was I get they're holding up their last ABS challenge there, and the first one was used by Mason Wynn. That thing missed by at least 1.5 inches inside. No question. Here's Blaze Jordan in lefty-righty matchup. He's 0 for 1 the first pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 0-1. Blaze Jordan 0 for 1, grounded out into a double play in his first at-bat. Sanchez looks into Real Muto, and the 0-1 pitch. Hit to the left side, picked up there at third. He throws to first just in time to get Blaze Jordan by half a step at first. Did Stott at third for the second out of the inning. It was a slow bouncer. He picked it up right about even with third base. Did Stott. And then managed to plant himself, get it over to first to get Blaze Jordan by less than a full step to be sure. So nobody on with 2 out. Here is Jose Fermin, lefty-righty matchup. Correction, Pereira is up, lefty-righty matchup. The 0-1. Correction, the first pitch. Swinging strike, slider down and in. Pereira is 0 for 1. Now we're set. 70 pitches here for Sanchez. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the fifth inning, no score. He comes motion, the 0-1. Changeup away, and the count is 1-1. Yeah, Eric, apparently Nolan Gorman has had a pretty good last couple of weeks. We'll see what happens there. He deals. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away, and the count is 1-2. So Sanchez has Pereira in the hole 1-2. Looking into Real Muto, who sets up inside, and the 1-2 pitch. A sinker inside ruled a ball, and the count is 2-2. And the funny thing about that particular call is it was just a little higher up, but it was just as inside as the called strike 3 to Mason Wynn. That has to be terribly frustrating. Now the 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3 on the slider, down and in for the third and final out of the inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Redbirds. We head to the the top of the sixth inning. No score. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. So due up for the Phillies, Turner, Harper, and Arias. 2, 3, 4 in their order. No score here going to the top of the sixth. This thing's been moving along very quickly. Very quickly. Oh boy. It is warm in this room, folks. But this game is moving fast. Oh boy. It's been all pitching and all D. And not just Paul D. The D on the field. And some of it very impressive. I mean, that catch there in the top of the fifth, out in right center by Pereira. Trying to figure out quite how to pronounce it, but yeah, was very impressive. You know, you get an opportunity to look at the highlight on that. You will not be disappointed. Nope. No. Not a hotel room. So we await the top of the sixth inning. And I'd like to thank you all so much for being here with me tonight. It may be hot in this room, but it's worth it. Ah, that is a nice drone establishing shots there of the highlights at Busch Stadium. Literally, the highly elevated lights at Busch Stadium, I should say. And we're back for the top of the sixth. Pallante out there for his sixth frame. He has been pretty good tonight. He will face the shortstop, Turner. Righty-righty matchup. Turner's 0 for 1. Common Wands, Pallante. The first pitch to Turner. A knuckle curve down and away, and the count is 1-0. Turner, a strikeout swinging, and a walk. He's 0 for 1. Pallante looks into Pages. He comes motion. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, slider down Broadway. The count is 1-1. Am I at the ballpark? Oh, goodness, no. The 1-1 pitch. Hit foul behind home plate on the sinker up and in. The count is 1-2. No, I'm not at the ballpark, wire guy. No, I am not. It's a fair question, but no. Pallante comes one. The 1-2. A knuckle curve down and away. Laying off there is Turner. Not even remotely tempted. And the count is even at 2-2. Nope, I'm not at home either, choir guy. If I were at home, you'd see me on screen on camera. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit to the left side and over Mason's Wynn head into left center field for a leadoff single by Turner, picked up there by Jose Fermin. And the Phillies have a runner on first, nobody out, top of the sixth inning. Always, John, always. I was born there, I was raised there, and I am certain I will perish there. Hopefully not anytime soon. Now, here is Bryce Harper with a runner on first, nobody out. 89 pitches so far for Pallante. He's from the stretch. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Infield definitely shaded towards right. Setting up inside is Pages. The first pitch to Harper. A four-seam fastball misses down and in. The count is 1-0. A walk and a ground out into a double play. He did that last night as well. Turner takes a decent lead off first. It's a 1-0 count. Coming in at the Birds is Pallante, the 1-0. A four-seam fastball up and away. It had the outer third, but just a bit too high, and the count is 2-0. Misses Game Mike, and the Cats are very well. Thank you, John. I appreciate you asking. Turner leads. Come in set. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball on the inside corner at the knees. The count is 2-1. Definitely shifted towards right with the infield in that modified double play depth with less than 2 out. Pallante sets. Throws over to first. Back in time is Turner with the head first slide. The count remains 2-1. Oh, the Field of Dreams. I wish I was there. Harper gets back into that box. Turner leads. Setting at the Birds is Pallante. The 2-1. Hit to the right side, right there at Witherell. He throws the second one on to first. A double play, a 4-6-3 double play for the first and second outs of the inning. Another double play just when he needed it. Andre Pallante manages to induce it from Bryce Harper. And Bryce Harper has done that more than a few times here in this early going in this 3-game set. Gong, gong. And there you are. Now here is Luis Arias. He's 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. A four-seam fastball up and away. The count is 1-0. A fielder's choice and a ground out for Arias. I am sure he's glad to be out of his San Francisco exile. Here's the pitch. Hit down the left field side, now to play on the slider in. The count is 1-1. But of all the competitors you can go to, Philadelphia is definitely one of the more challenging ones. Their fans are something else. Pallante comes motion. He deals. Foul down the third base side, now to play the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-2. Next pitch is going to be Andre's 97th and 5 2/3 innings. He comes motion. The pitch. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Witherell on a couple of bounces to his left. He throws to first in time to get Arias for the final out of the inning. So, none across and none left on. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. There is no score here in Game 2 at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D., and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 6. Let's go to the chat. Okay. Yeah, somebody really does. Oh, Bossy Boy. Or Boss Boy, I should say. Phillies fans, most definitely. Yankee fans are... There's a lot of bark there. But at least as it currently exists, there's not a lot of, really reported violence. With Philadelphia, I feel like that is almost always on the table. I wish I was joking. No, I mean, Yankee fans are tough, right? But Philly fans are also partially tortured. You know, the Phillies haven't won that much. They won in 08, right? I think they won in 80, if I remember correctly. So it's not like the super winningest organization. And granted, you know, it's not as if Philly fans, most of which are also Eagles fans, haven't had their share of winning in professional sports recently. But I find Yankee fans, one, to be more forgiving, and two, just less unstable, I guess is the best way to put it. You know what, Lucas? That's actually a very good point. I think he should seriously be considered. He has been outstanding defensively at second. Now, due up for the Redbirds, Pajes, Witherell, and Herrera, 9-1-2 in the Redbird order. Scoreless here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sanchez coming out for his sixth frame of work. Pallante and Sanchez have been matching each other donut for donut. Here's Pedro Pages, 1-for-1 with a single in his first at-bat into center field. Lefty-righty matchup. The 75th from Sanchez. Swinging strike on the slider, down and in. The count is 0-1. Interesting. Now the 0-1 from Sanchez. A sinker down and away. Laying off that one is Pages. The count is 1-1. I was atop the arch in 2006 and looking to the left in Busch Stadium. That must have been quite a sight. Scratch man. Now the 1-1 offering. Swinging strike on the changeup away, and the count is 1-2. He's very, very good at mixing it up between 1 and 2 there. The 1, the sinker, the 2, the circle change. He knows how to keep him off balance. He knows how to move it around and throw quality strikes. And he can mostly work off of 1-2, which is incredible for a starter. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Pages, who's just wiping all the perspiration off his brow and his helmet. That looks fun. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup, down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Pages for the first out of the inning. So nobody on with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. There is no score. Both of the starters here tonight have been pretty darn good. Not their best, but the results are what they are. Now here is J.J. Weatherall, lefty-lefty matchup, 0-for-2, the first pitch. A slider in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Looking in is Sanchez, setting up away is Real Muto. He deals. Strike, sinker down Broadway at the knees. The count is 1-1. That was the 80th pitch there for Cristopher Sanchez. He comes motion and deals. A sinker down and in, and the count is 2-1. I know Pedro barely gets playing time. There's a number of reasons for that. I mean, he has a better average than Jimmy Crooks, of course. But Jimmy Crooks at least potentially has some kind of brighter future, or at least that's what they're trying to assess. And then you occasionally have to give it to Herrera. The 2-1. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. But it really just boils down to the point rush, Dash. And I've said this a number of times, is I hate carrying effectively, but anyway, depending on how you look at it, 2.5 to 3 catchers on the 26-man roster. Just seems like they could utilize that spot a lot better. Now, the 3-1 to Weatherall. Strike, sinker, paints the black of the outside corner at the knees. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Glad I caught that. He winds the pitch. Hit on up the middle, picked up on the hop by Sanchez. He throws over to first in time to get Weatherall. So Weatherall bounces out 1-3 for the second out. It was actually a very nifty play there by Cristopher Sanchez, because on the follow-through, his momentum was actually kind of taking him away from the ball, but he managed to stick his glove out there and get it on a hop, balance himself on his own 2 feet, and throw out Weatherall at first. Now here's Ivan Herrera with nobody on and 2 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, no score. A lefty-righty matchup. Herrera's 0-for-2, struck out in his last at-bat. And the first pitch. A changeup on the outer third high, and the count is 1-0. Come and wind. He deals. A changeup away, ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Right back into the box is Ivan Herrera. That very quiet here so far in this game for Ivan, the 2-0. Foul tipped, and it rolls over towards the Cardinal on deck circle, and the count is 2-1. Next pitch is going to be Cristopher Sanchez's 88th, so he might have one more frame in him. Setting up outside is Real Muto, the 2-1. Fouled straight back on the sinker down Broadway, and the count is 2-2. That came in at 96 miles an hour. And you get the feeling that that was the pitch to hit if you're looking into the eyes of Herrera as soon as it began fouling back. He has kind of a disappointed body language here at the moment. It's a 2-2 count. And he steps back into the box. On deck is Jordan Walker. All scoreless here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming Juan Sanchez, the pitch. Gets a piece of that, hits it down towards third. Picking it up out there by Stott. He throws to first, not in time. An infield single by Ivan Herrera. It was basically a swinging bunt. Don Mattingly looks like he may very well call for the official replay, and he's given the signals on both ears that he wants it. The play is now under official review. I think Ivan Herrera beat the throw at first. I do. Stott did a great job charging in on the grass. Like I said, it was a swinging bunt between the mound and third. He had to go well to his left and charge in. They're going to have to slow it down here. Let's see. This is a much better angle. I'll give you my assessment here in a moment. What do we got? Oh, boy. I think Herrera might be out. And it ain't by much, folks. Let's see. I think he's out. I do. I think he might be out. But we'll see what they have to say. So the play is under review. It goes to the off-site replay center. And they determined that Ivan Herrera is out. So the call is overturned, and that will do it. 1, 2, 3, go the Cardinals. We go to the top of the 7th inning. There is no score here in Game 2 of 3 in this midweek set down at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D., and if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, you haven't done so already, but you feel I've earned it. In your gut, in your head, in your heart, please do leave a like. It's helping out Game Mike in big ways. That little like button there on your screen does a world of good, and you have my eternal gratitude. And if it's your first time here, or you've been back multiple times, and you're not already subscribed, well, please, what you waiting for? Hit subscribe. We have a great growing community, not just with Cardinal fans, but baseball fans more generally here on Game Mike. We have a lot of fun. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going top of 7. Okay. Due up for the Phillies. I'll give you that in a moment. Gotta let this thing load. So, yeah, that's, that overturned call right there, that really feels like tonight in a nutshell. It's been all pitching and all defense all the time. I'm not going to pretend that it hasn't been. Now, duo for the Phillies in the top of the 7th inning. Real Muto, Stott, and Marsh. 5, 6, and 7 in the Philly order. Now, it's hard to believe that Andre Pallante would be going out there again, and Didi's not. So Ali Marmol is going to the 27-year-old right-hander George Soriano. In 53 games this year, George Soriano is 5-3 with a 3.66 ERA, 51 2/3 innings pitched, 51 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.20. Has not been that great of late. I think most of us who have been watching these games have learned. He can bounce back, there's no question about it, but that is where Marmol is going. Andre Pallante, 6 shutout innings. And here's George Soriano. Stepping into the box is the catcher, JT Realmuto. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Realmuto is 0 for 2. Setting up away is Pages. The first pitch. A slider strike on the inside corner thigh high, and the count is 0-1. This pitching change is brought to you by Steve's Hot Dog. Try the Paul D. Triple Cheese Chili Tornado Stuffed Jalapeno Dog today. Chesterfield in Tower Grove, the 0-1. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball away, and the count is 0-2 to JT Realmuto. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the seventh inning, there is no score. George Soriano here in relief of Andre Pallante, who was very good tonight. 6 shutout innings. He cannot win it, but he also can't lose it. He'll take the no decision. Common set Soriano, the 0-2. Called strike 3. Change up on the outside corner thigh high. For the first out of the inning, JT Realmuto gets caught in the observatory, gets the old backwards K. Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the first out. So nobody on with 1 out, top of the seventh inning, no score. Now here is Stott, 1-for-1, 6-hitter, righty-lefty matchup. And the first pitch to Stott. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-1. Bryson Stott, a single and a walk. He's 1-for-1. Whistle indeed, Scott Reed. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the changeup down and away. Swinging over the top of that one, Stott. That was an absolutely perfect right hand circle change to the left hand hitter. Great arm side action. Stott just swung right over the top of it. That's how they draw it up. Now the 0-2 pitch. A changeup away ruled a ball. The count is 1-2. I think Brother Joe would win the Bombers Game Mike Chili Cook-Up. Yeah, absolutely. He's the odds-on favorite. 100%. Now the 1-2. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-2. I know you're out there. At least I think you are, Brother Joe. You're talking about all of these things that you're making up in your kitchen. I'm like, man, this guy has a real creativity for food. And he always tells me it, and about 5 seconds later, my stomach is screaming for nourishment. Now, the 1-2 pitch. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. Okay, Zach, is this an all Cardinals channel, or do you do other sports too? I'll be happy to answer that. Common set Soriano, the 2-2 to Stott. Called strike 3. Change up on the outside corner. Challenged immediately by Stott. So ABS challenge incoming here for the Phillies. It's going to be a close one. For the second out of the inning. Just got a piece of that strike zone up and away for the second out. Stott goes down in the observatory, gets the old backwards K. Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the second out of the inning. Now, here is the lefty Brandon Marsh. Marsh is 1-for-2. He has a walk and a strikeout. Righty-lefty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out. Top of the seventh inning, no score. The pitch. Strike. Change up on the outside corner thigh high. The count is 0-1. I'll answer that in the half inning, Zach, because it's a good question. Looking in is Soriano. The 0-1. Hit to the right side and past a diving Weatherall into right field. Picking it up there is Jordan Walker. So Marsh has himself a 2-out single to right, and the Phillies have a runner on first with 2 out, top of the seventh inning, no score. Okay, well, first off, Zach, thank you very much for the kind words. That really does mean the world to me, and I thank you for it. So this is, as at present, currently, a Cardinal-focused channel. But there are some exceptions to that. For example, we're going to be doing NFL come the regular season. We're going to be doing postseason baseball, regardless of the Cardinals are in it. Now, the first pitch to Bomb. A sweeper strike on the inside corner. The count is 0-1. It's a righty-righty matchup. Bomb is 1-for-2 tonight. Runner on first with 2 out. Top of the seventh inning, no score. It's an 0-1 count. Marsh leads off first. Bomb gets back into the box. Come in, set is Soriano. The 0-1. A change-up in and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. And also, I always, always great when you hear a nice compliment like that from a fan of another team. So, yeah, it's primarily a Cardinal channel. The Cardinals preempt everything, but we're going to be doing NFL and other MLB postseason. The 1-1. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. Infield defense very much shaded towards left with the righty Bomb. Alec Burleson is holding Marsh at first. The 2-1 pitch. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball down Broadway, and the count is 2-2. The hit and run was on there. Marsh was off with that one. It's been interesting watching both of these clubs do what at one time was really known as quintessential National League baseball, which now is all but gone with the DH in both leagues. Bomb gets back into the box. Runner leads off first with 2 outs. It's a 2-2 count. No score here in the top of the 7th. George Soriano in relief of Pallante. He comes set. The 2-2. A slider down and away. Keeping in front of him is Pages. Staying right there at first is Marsh. Everybody had that on his mind after the failed hit and run. Or maybe it was a run and hit. And of course, Marsh was also once again off on that one, so a hit and run there. Well, no, it wasn't a hit and run there. It's just a 3-2 count with 2 out. He's going. Before that was a hit and run. Now he comes set. The 3-2. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball down and away. So Bomb works a 2-out walk, and the Phillies have runners on first and second with 2 out in the top of the 7th inning. There is no score. For the NFL? For the playoffs? Well, I have to really... so much of that, John, is actually going to end up being determined on what the actual matchups are and who makes it, and it'll be all laid out in advance. I'll say that. And there may even be some times, and granted, I'd probably be, in this case, be doing it alone in that case. There may be times where I may do more than one game in a day, depending on how I'm reading the situation. Runners lead off first and second. Here is Justin Crawford. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Crawford. A changeup away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I don't know how many of you, I know Justin Beasley remembers. How many of you remember Carl Crawford? Justin Crawford's dad here. Very similar players. The 1-0. A four-seam fastball down and in ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. That came in at 97 miles an hour to the right hand of Soriano. So I have not established a specific team focus for the NFL, David, and I'm not sure that I'm going to. But that's all going to come out a week in advance. The 2-0. Hit down the right field line and slicing foul on the slider. The count is 2-1. That's stuff that's all being determined. But at least at present, I'm not envisioning this being something that is focused on a specific NFL team like it is the Cardinals. The best way I can put it is this, David. The focus of this channel is the St. Louis Cardinals. They preempt everything. And then after that, it's just about making a good game plan, choosing which ones to call. The 2-1. A four-seam fastball down and in and out of the zone to Justin Crawford, and the count is 3-1. So there's runners on first and second with 2 out. Top of the 7th inning, there is no score. 22 pitches here for George Soriano. He's gotten himself in some trouble here. He sets the 3-1 pitch. Hit out there into right field, right at Jordan Walker, who catches it on the line for the final out of the inning. So, no runs and 2 left on. It is 7th inning stretch time down at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Scoreless going bottom of 7. Let's get back to that chat. What a game here so far. Moving so fast. Okay. Good evening, Edgar Williams. Good to see you. Raymond Gask. The man, the myth, the legend. Good looking on the radio YouTube show. Well, thank you, Raymond. I really appreciate that. Yeah, it's an interesting interpretation of how I look, but I figure it's evocative enough. So he manages to get out of that thing, and we're heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. I would not be shocked to see Sanchez out here for the bottom of the 7th. I really wouldn't. I think he's just under 90 pitches. He's going to face Jordan Walker, Burleson, and Faramine. Walker is 0 for 2. Burleson, of course, is 1 for 2 with the strikeout, and Faramine is also 1 for 2. Joseph, I'm a Braves fan now, but I grew up liking Mark McGwire. He was fun to watch. So, Joseph, did you find your way here through a recommended video by the algorithm underneath one of Braves Country Radio live streams? I know, he's one of the big guys in the baseball play-by-play area. It's really quite impressive. All right, we're back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. No score. Walker, Burleson, and Faramine. And they have changed pitchers. McFarlane, the right-hander, a sinker bounced out in front of home plate, and the count is 1-0. Alex McFarlane, the right-hander, 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, no strikeouts. So not much to say there, but that pitch came in at 100 miles an hour. Now the 1-0 from McFarlane. Strike, sinker on the outside, quarter at the knees, 99 miles an hour. The count is 1-1 to Jordan Walker, who's 0 for 2. Oh, well, that's cool too, Joseph. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate answering my question. The 1-1. A 4-seam fastball down and away and out of the zone, 101 miles an hour. The count is 2-1. A very tight game here. We are scoreless in the bottom of the 7th inning. He comes set. The 2-1. Strike, sinker, whispers over the black of the outside, quarter at the knees. The count is even at 2-2. Walker is back in the box. McFarlane comes set above the belt, and then time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. First one tonight. Took till the 7th inning. He comes set. The 2-2 to Walker. A sweeper down and away. It is a ball, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, I remember very well, choir guy. The 3-2, ball 4 on the sinker, down and away. So Jordan Walker works the leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 7th inning. McFarlane just committed one of the mortal sins of pitching. Hard to know if he's going to have to pay penance for it. Now here is Alec Burleson, who is 1 for 2 with a strikeout. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. No score here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Game 2 of 3. They finish this thing up tomorrow afternoon. I'll be here for the whole call. He comes set. McFarlane Deers. There goes Jordan Walker. Here comes the throw. Here's the play. And he is safe at second. A stolen base by Jordan Alexander Walker. And the Cardinals have a runner on second with no out. The pitch is a ball. It's certainly ruled a ball, so it's 1-0. Let's see the replay here. Oh, he was halfway to second by the time Real Muto got the ball, and he is definitely safe. Yeah, I mean, Turner did all he could, but he's definitely safe there. So Jordan Walker stealing a clutch bag, as opposed to a coach bag, I guess, maybe? Definitely the clutch. The 1-0. Strike, slider on the outside, quarter below the belt. The count is 1-1. Burleson, a strikeout looking, and a single. No, that's Jordan Walker doing Jordan Walker things right there. It's great to see. The 1-1. A slider up and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. The infield defense definitely shaded towards right. Now the 2-1 offering. A four-seam fastball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. That came in at 100 miles an hour. So Alec Burleson has himself in a very nice hitter's count here with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. This is one of those times where ABC baseball makes a lot of sense. Now the 3-1 swinging strike on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 3-2. They came in at 101 and had slight rising action as it crossed over the plate. So a lot of good vertical rising action and plenty of horizontal. McFarland sets the 3-2. Fouled straight back of the four-seam fastball upstairs. Once again, 101 miles an hour. And the count remains 3-2. Jordan Walker is sitting out there at second. Yeah, definitely some of the right side indeed. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swinging strike three on the four-seam fastball upstairs for the first out of the inning. Alec Burleson goes down hacking. That was a four-seam fastball in the strike zone. He just swung right through it. 101 miles an hour. That'll be the first out. Now here is Jose Fermin. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Jordan Walker's on second. He led off this inning with a walk and stole a base. During the at-bat for Alec Burleson. Common sense McFarland. The first pitch of Fermin. Strike. Sinker on the outer third. Thigh high. The count is 0-1. This guy has himself an arm, though. Triple digits pretty consistently. And the 0-1. Strike. Slider down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-2. So Fermin is in the hole here to McFarland. He's shown himself to have some pretty decent breaking stuff. Let's see how it goes when he's ahead in the count. The 0-2 pitch. Fouled back on the sweeper up and away, and the count remains 0-2. McFarland sets and steps off the rubber. So we get to wait a little longer for the 0-2 offer here to Jose Fermin. Runner on second with one out. He comes set. The pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and away. The count is 0-2. Triple digits, 100 even. Jeff. Hi, Paul and Chet. Joe may be amazing cook, but I am biased. Q-Man, homemade Italian sausage, homemade sauce with homemade pasta. I'll get to the rest of the moment in that, Jeff. The 0-2 pitch, hit up the middle, picked up there at short by the shortstop. He throws to first in time to get Jose Fermin for the second out. Moving from second to third on the play is Jordan Walker. So Turner did a very nice job going to his left there, getting Fermin for the second out. Heads up base running on the part of Jordan Walker. And here is Mason Wynn. So it'll be a righty-righty matchup. They're very heavily shifting to his left, despite the fact he hit against the shift just earlier tonight. The first pitch. A sweeper upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. I wish you all could experience when he would announce he was cooking 11 family. How is Q-Man doing? The 1-0 pitch, hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Scoring easily is Jordan Walker. An RBI single to right with two outs off the bat of Mason Wynn. And the Cardinals take a 1-0 lead. Hitting against the shift. Hitting against the shift. Why do they keep shifting on him when he's always hitting against the shift? You know, that it just seems like a weird point of baseball orthodoxy at this point. I mean, I hope they keep doing this. But Mason Wynn totally dialed in there with the RBI single to right. And here comes the pitching coach to have a little chat there with McFarland. So 1-0 Cardinals, one across there on the RBI single to right by Mason Wynn with two out. So a bit of a powwow out on the bump. Mason Wynn, his second of the night to right. Oh, boy. You know it, Reaper. You know it. And it's good to see you, Reaper. 1-0 Cardinals. Here's Blaze Jordan. Runner on first with 2 out, 1 already in. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1-0. A ground out into a double play and a ground out. Blaze Jordan is 0 for 2, and it's a righty-righty matchup. 20 pitches for McFarland. He comes set. The first pitch to Blaze Jordan. It's called a ball down and in, challenged by Real Muto. So ABS challenge incoming on the part of the Phillies. It's called a ball. Where is it? And the call is overturned. It is a strike. Just nipped the corner down and in, and the count is 0-1. A good challenge there by Real Muto. Both teams only have 1 ABS challenge remaining. McFarland sets the 0-1 to Blaze Jordan. A slider well inside and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. This has been one heck of a game. Another one. The 1-1 pitch. Check swing on the sweeper away. Did he go around? Yes, says Blue down the first baseline. Not able to hold his swing there is Blaze Jordan, and the count is 1-2. So McFarland 1 strike away from getting out of this thing for the Phillies. See what happens. He deals. A 4-seam fastball bounced out in front of home plate, 99 miles an hour, and the count is even at 2-2. Wynn leads off first. He has that RBI go-ahead single. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled down the first base side and out of play on the 4-seam fastball away. 99 miles an hour. Spoiling off there is Blaze Jordan. I don't know what it is about Blaze Jordan, but for some reason, I just want to see this kid succeed. He seems like he could be a real gamer. He deals. Hit to the left side on a big hop there towards third. He picks it up. He throws to first. Does stop to get Blaze Jordan in time for the third and final out of the inning. However, 1 run on an RBI 2-out single to right by Mason Wynn, scoring Jordan Walker, and the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike this evening, and you haven't done so already, but you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. It really is helping this channel a ton, and it gets stuff out more to Cardinal fans because the algorithm does follow likes. It's a big deal, and we greatly appreciate it when you do that. And if you're not already subscribed and you're digging it, well, hit subscribe. Great growing community here on Game Mike. With that said, me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 1-0 Cardinals going top of 8. Harold Houseman, Bombers Game Mike with Big Paul D is where it's at. Well, thank you, Harold. It's good to see ya. Well, Harold, I'm sure you probably heard the news. Navy caps for the remainder of this year for the Cardinals on the road. Somebody was listening. Was somebody lurking here in the audience? No, I don't think they were, but it's an interesting coincidence to be sure. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I find the Navy ones also, it really does complement the gray. So, hey, they're doing it. Yeah, it's a nice cap. Q-Man is making it with upcoming surgeries. Cost he can't afford to get free on charge. So no AC. Oh boy. We'll power through it. Don't worry. We're stubborn. I have no doubt about you and Q-Man's ability to persevere, Jeff. Just please send him my best personal wishes. He just brings so much to this chat. And he's one of the originals here. He came aboard really early on. And a really cool guy. All right, here's the lefty, Caleb Ferguson. Did not have a great night last night. He'll take on Kyle Schwarber, and the first pitch. A slurve up and in. Get out of the way of that one with Schwarber. The count is 1-0. Oh, very good, Rush Dash. Common set is Ferguson. He deals to Schwarber. Swinging strike on the cutter away, and the count is 1-1. And now Nate Church is in the game. He's in center field. and Pereira has been moved from center to left. Now the pitch. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. Fermin was actually replaced by Church, so Fermin is out of the game. Nate Church will take over for him in the 5-hole. He's in center, and Pereira, who was in center, has been moved to left. Coming set is Ferguson, the 1-2. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is even at 2-2. Thank you, Raymond. Raymond Gask. Now the 2-2 pitch. A sinker inside ruled a ball, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Schwarber, who's 1 for 3. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning. 1-0 Cardinals. Turner is on deck. This is a lefty-lefty matchup. Infield very much shaded towards right for Schwarber. And the 3-2, fouled straight back on the sinker up and in, and the count remains 3-2. Man, Kyle Schwarber is a difficult at-bat. I don't care who's on the mound. This guy is a difficult at-bat. Hey, Paul. Hey, Max. 127 likes out of 355 live watchers is decent. That's what's up, homies. Well, thank you so much, Raven. We do what we can. Ferguson sets at the Birds. He deals. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball away, so Kyle Schwarber works a leadoff walk here in the top of the 8th inning. Ferguson, mortal sin of pitching. I said it about McFarland before. We saw what happened. Runner on first, nobody out. 1-0 Cardinals, top of 8. Now, here is Trey Turner, the shortstop tonight. Be a lefty-righty matchup. And Hill is going in to pinch run for Schwarber. So Schwarber, the DH, is out of the game. And Hill has replaced him over at first. He takes himself a generous lead. Coming sets Ferguson. There he goes. Here's the play. Here's the throw. And he is safe at second. A stolen base by Hill. The pinch runner for Kyle Schwarber off on the very first pitch there from Ferguson. The pitch is ruled a ball. It's a 1-0 count. So Hill is on second with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. And you just kind of had the feeling, too. And, you know, it was not a great pitch to throw on either. Pies really made it. Oh, boy, he got him on the foot there, but I think he got the hand in first. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. They're not calling for a review. It's a 1-0 count. Lefty-righty matchup here to Trey Turner. He's 1 for 2, the 1-0. A four-seam fastball on the outside corner. Did he check his swing? Yes, says Blue down the first baseline, and the count is 2-0. Well, thank you, Jeff. We're lucky to both know you and Q-Man. The 2-0. A four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 3-0. Trey Turner, a strikeout swinging, a walk, and a single. He's 1 for 2. Runner on second, nobody out. Coming sets Ferguson. He deals. Strike, four-seam fastball, outer third thigh high, and the count is 3-1. Oh, my apology. I'll get to it in a moment. The 3-1. Ball 4 on the cutter downstairs, so Turner works a walk, and the Phillies have runners on first and second. Nobody out. Top of the 8th inning. So Gasquet? Gasquet, is that right, Raymond? And here comes Bryce Harper. Dusty Blake, the pitching coach, along with the rest of the infield, are having a little heart-to-heart there out on the bump. Gasquet. Okay. So they're talking it over out there on the mound with Ferguson. It's going to be a lefty-lefty matchup. I'm sure that was part of the thinking there, insofar as there was thinking. So runners on first and second, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, it's 1-0 Cardinals. A very tight matchup here. It was going very quick until it wasn't. Bryce Harper, a walk and a pair of grounding out into a double play. That would be something. Coming set is Ferguson. He holds. The first pitch to Harper. A slurve downstairs. Laying off that one is Harper. The count is 1-0. Bryce Harper, Raymond. Infield defense very much shaded towards right. Blaze Jordan just playing even with the bag by about 5 feet to its left. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker inside, and the count is 1-1. Runners lead off first and second, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, 1-0 Cardinals. The 1-1. Foul tipped on the cutter away, and the count is 1-2 to Bryce Harper. So where does Ferguson go here to try and get Harper to swing and miss? A breaking ball down and away? A changeup? A cutter? Does he try and challenge him? We'll find out shortly. He comes, set the bird. Setting up away is Paez, the 1-2. A cutter away, just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball, and the count is 2-2. They already did, David. They already did. That's what the delay was before Harper came up. Now, Ferguson sets. He deals. Hit foul down the left field side and out of play. The runners were off on that, so there was actually a hit and run on there by Don Mattingly. On deck is Luis Arias. 1-0 Cardinals. They have their sole run in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ferguson sets. And he steps off the rubber, bluffs back towards second. So we wait a little longer for this 2-2 offering. Watch the bunt. Setting is Ferguson. He deals. Foul back on the slurve, down and in. The count remains 2-2. Let's put it this way. I would have a whole new level of respect if Bryce Harper put down a surprise bunt here. Believe me, that would be theater, my friends. Ferguson looks in. Runners lead off first and second. There's nobody out. Cummins sets Ferguson, the 2-2 to Harper. A sinker down and away and out of the zone, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. This is a very big pitch right here. You don't want to walk him. You don't want to leave one over the plate. You definitely don't want those bases loaded. He sets the 3-2. Hit foul down the third base line, out of play on the sinker down and in. The count remains 3-2. The next pitch is going to be the 9th of this at-bat from Ferguson to Harper. Ferguson's looking in. He comes set. The pitch. Ball 4 on the cutter low, so the bases are now juiced with nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Caleb Ferguson, what are you doing? Here comes Ollie Marmol. Looks like he's probably going to the pen. The question is, to whom to get Arias? They're going to the 35-year-old right-hander with the blonde mullet. You know what I'm talking about. It's Stanek panic time. So we have ourselves a pitching change. Here comes Ryan Stanek, folks. Bases loaded, nobody out. Let me give you the newest numbers on Stanek. In 51 games this year, the 35-year-old right-hander is 2-2 with a 4.57 ERA, 45 in the third innings pitched, 49 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.50. It's Stanek time. Bullwinkle calling in Rocky. Yeah, unfortunately, they are not facing Boris and Natasha. Who would be Boris Badenoff in this situation, Roger? This pitching change is brought to you by Tito's, the official tequila sponsor of Ryan Stanek. Oh, my God. Oh, goodness, that cuts. Oh, Justin Beasley. Always the cut, always the jab. He comes up with it off the top of his head. Yeah, it's not fun, Dennis, that's for sure. All right, you gave me the numbers on Ryan Stanek a moment ago. Bases loaded, nobody out. Here is Luis Arias. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. 1-0 Cardinals, top of the 8th inning. Oh, see, John, they exchanged him for $250,000 in international signing pool money. Got him from the Reds. Now, here's Luis Arias, career at the bases loaded. 22 hits. Infield defense in the first pitch. A slider upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. What gave me the idea to do this? Stand by on that, Zach. I'll get to the rest in a moment. The 1-0. Hit to the right side. Picked up there by Alec Burleson. He throws to home. He has one. On back to first. A double play. A 3-1-3 double play for the first and second outs of the inning. It was a ground ball right to Burleson, who went right home to Pages for one. And Pages turned it back around to Burleson to get the runner going down the line to first for the second out of the inning. Oh, what a play there by Alec Burleson and Pages for the first and second outs of the inning. Now there are runners on second and third with two out here in the top of the 8th inning. It's a 1-0 game. Now here's Real Muto. Here's the pitch. Foul back behind the Cardinal dugout, and the count is 0-1. Real Muto is 0 for 3. A 3-1-3 double play. How about that? How about that? Not to parody Mel Allen too much, folks. It's an 0-1 count. Runners on second and third. They lead. Looking in is Stanek to Real Muto. The 0-1. There's a fly ball out into center field. Going back is Church at the warning track. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. They get out of it unscathed. Ryan Stanek comes in with the bases loaded with nobody out, gets a 3-1-3 double play and a fly out to right center field to end the inning. So, nothing across for the Phillies. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It is 1-0 Cardinals. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. 1-0 Cardinals going bottom of 8. Oh, folks. My goodness. I mean, my goodness. That was incredible. That was incredible. The 3-1-3 double play and the fly out to the track in right center brought in by Nate Church. Oh, that was fun to call. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. So, due up in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Cardinals, Pereira, Pages, and J.J. Weatherall, 8, 9, and 1 in the Cardinal order. Still showing McFarland in the game. I can honestly say, Harold, I do not know the answer to that question. Oh, definitely, Brother Joe. Definitely. Oh, man, that 3-1-3 double play was insane. Ryan Stanek did that, I think, with only 4 or 5 pitches. That's not exactly been his MO this year, but he got it there. So, we are here for the bottom of the 8th inning. 1-0 Cardinals. Now they're going to Tim Miza, the left-hander, 47 games, 54 in the 3rd innings pitch. A 3-3 record, a 3.48 ERA, 54 in the 3rd innings pitch, 53 strikeouts, a whip of 1.09. Lefty-righty matchup, the first pitch to Pereira. Swinging strike on the sinker upstairs. The count is 0-1. Miza comes set. The 0-1. A 4-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-1. Pereira there, a couple of strikeouts. Now he's 0 for 2. Lefty-righty matchup. The 1-1 pitch. There's a fly ball out in the center field. Going back is Justin Crawford looking up, and it is gone. A solo home run off the bat of Pereira, and that will give the Cardinals a 2-0 lead. Oh, that was an absolute no-doubter to the grassy knoll in center field. The Cardinals take a 2-0 lead. Pereira, the leadoff solo job to the grassy knoll in center. 2-0 Cardinals, bottom of 8. Right off of Tim Miza. Now here's Pies. He's 1 for 2. Lefty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Miza. A sinker strike. Outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. Miza comes set. Now the 0-1 pitch. Hit down the right field line and slicing foul. Gets caught by the netting in front of the stands. The count is 0-2. You and me both, C. John. You and me both. It's an 0-2 count. 2-0 Cardinals. 1 in here in the bottom of the 8th. The solo home run by Pereira. Here's the pitch. There's a fly ball out to left field. Underneath it is Marsh going over a couple of steps. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Pedro Pages flies out 7 for the first out. And here comes J.J. Weatherall. It'll be a lefty-lefty matchup. Yeah, that looked like it was a slider downstairs there to Pereira. It just kept going. Remember I was telling you about the old red barber trick last night? Follow the outfielder, not the ball? Crawford knew before anybody. Now the first pitch. A sinker strike on the inside corner thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Setting up away is Real Muto, the 0-1 Weatherall. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the slider away, and the count is 0-2. Weatherall, a foul out, grounded out into a double play, and he's grounded out. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Nobody on with 1 out. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-0 Cardinals. 1 already in here in the bottom of the 8th. The 0-2. A 4-seam fastball away, and the count is 1-2. Looking in is Miza. Set it up away is Real Muto. The 1-2 to Weatherall. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. That came in at 96 miles an hour. That's a good question, Raymond. I haven't quite put that one together yet. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3 on the sinker, down and in. Swing over the top of that one was Weatherall for the second out of the inning. A very unusual lack of plate discipline there by J.J. Weatherall. That sinker was almost at his shoe tops, down and in, and he swung at it. He must not be picking up the ball well out of Mize's hand, which is kind of the idea with the lefty-lefty matchup, but a little out of character. Now, here is Ivan Herrera's 0 for 3. Lefty versus righty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out, 2-0 Cardinals. The pitch. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Now the 1-0 offering. Hit into center field. Going back is Crawford. He makes the catch on the run for the third and final out of the inning. However, 1 run on one very big hit. The solo home run to center field by Pereira gives the Cardinals a 2-0 lead going to the top of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. 2-0 Cardinals going top of 9th. Here comes Riley O'Brien. All right. Yeah, it's true, Joe. You know, he's going to keep developing. Thank you so much for the support there, Derek White. I always appreciate that. I hope you get one too, Rush Dash. That would be quite a prize out there. 55 like streaks. Oh, boy. Where are we right now? Okay. Well, yeah, based on what I can see here, just pulling up 141 likes. How about that? Thank you all so much. You know, as far as the 100 like streak thing, I mean, we're well into the high 50s now, if I remember correctly. And all I can do is thank you all so much for your support and your encouragement. Coming by here every game, spending time with me here on Game Mike, which is to say, thank you for spending part of your Tuesday night here with me on Game Mike. We've had a classic here so far. It's been quite exciting. The Cardinals showing some grit. Now Riley O'Brien, he's going to come in and he's going to have to finish the job with that 2-0 lead. The 31-year-old right-hander in 48 games this year is 3-4 with a 3.21 ERA, 47 2/3 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.15. Well, that is Riley O'Brien. 29 saves in 34 opportunities this year for O'Brien. He will face Stott, Marsh, and Baum. 6, 7, and 8 in the Philly order. And we're back for the top of the 9th. It's a 2-0 Cardinal lead. Gave you the numbers on O'Brien just a moment ago. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike, sinker down Broadway. 97 miles out of the right hand. O'Brien to Stott. The count is 0-1. Stott is 1 for 2. Now the 0-1 pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outside quarter, thigh high, and the count is 0-2. Well, thank you so much, Zeke. Now he sets at the belt. The 0-2 pitch. A sweeper away over the righty batter's box. The count is 1-2. Looking in is O'Brien. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 9th, 2-0 Cardinals. He comes set. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, flailing, goes Stott. For the first out of the inning. So Riley O'Brien comes in, gets the first man. And Stott really chased on that thing. I think it was a slider up and away. It was nowhere near the zone. Now here comes Brandon Marsh, righty-lefty matchup. He's 1 for 3. The first pitch hit to the right side, and it is caught on a line by Burleson on the line for the second out of the inning. The old Adam ball, folks. A liner right to Sasquatch at first for the Cardinals for the second out of the inning. I say that lovingly, but he is very much built like Bigfoot. And now everybody is on their feet down at Busch Stadium. Here's the righty bomb, 1 for 2. The first pitch from O'Brien. A sinker in and out of the zone, 97 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. Nobody on, 2 out. Top of the ninth, 2-0 Cardinals. O'Brien comes set. Sitting up away is Pages, the 1-0. Strike, sinker on the outer third at the knees. The count is 1-1. O'Brien sets. O'Brien deals. Hit on up there towards the left side. Picked up by Mason Wynn on a couple of hops. He throws to first in time, and that will do it. A 2-0 Cardinal win. They come back with a pair of single runs in the 7th and 8th innings and take game 2 from Philadelphia by a score of 2-0. And with that 2-0 victory, here comes the victory tune. 2-0 Redbirds is your final. Tomorrow, the rubber match in the afternoon. Play your air guitars. So a 2-0 Cardinal victory late over the Philadelphia Phillies, and this thing was an absolute thriller. Everything you could hope for. Good pitching, good defense, timely hitting, gut checks, grit, all of the above. And tomorrow afternoon is the rubber match between these two clubs. So tomorrow afternoon, scheduled first pitch for Game 3, the rubber match. Old getaway day, there's an off day Thursday, is set for 1:15 p.m. Central Time from Busch Stadium. I'll be live here on Game Mic at 1:05 p.m. Central Time. So 1:15 p.m. Central Time tomorrow afternoon, the rubber match between the Cardinals and the Phillies. I'll be live here on Game Mic with the play-by-play live stream at 1:05 p.m. Central Time. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Tuesday night here with me on Game Mic. A real thriller. So many contributors. Pallante pitches outstanding. Ryan Stanek coming in, bases loaded, nobody out, gets out unscathed with the double play that saves the run and then gets out of the inning with the fly ball deep to right center. Mason Wynn with the 2 RBI single to right, scoring Jordan Walker, making it 1-0. And then in the bottom of the 8th, Pereira with that solo home run to the grassy knoll in center, leading off the bottom of the 8th, making it 2-0. And then Riley O'Brien coming in for the save. It is a 2-0 Cardinal victory. The Cardinals, with this win, they improve to 60-60. They make it back to 500. The Phillies fall to 64-57 with the loss. And that is the story there. I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Tuesday night here with me on Game Mic. Really a fantastic showing against an exceptionally good team in the Phillies. And we have the rubber match tomorrow. And the rubber match tomorrow is going to be quite a matchup. It's going to be Zach Wheeler versus Kyle Leahy. Kyle Leahy has been pitching exceedingly well since about the middle of June. And Zach Wheeler is Zach Wheeler. So I hope to see you all there. 1:15 p.m. Central Time, first pitch from Busch. I'll be live here on Game Mic at 1:05 p.m. Central Time. And I hope to see you all there. Now, let's go to the chat. Voronor back to 500. Maybe tomorrow we can get over that hump. Well, we'll see, Voronor. Roger Bassman. Good job, Rocky. You know it. Harold Houseman. Good night, gents. Cardinal W. What a gift. Cheers, my friend. Cat Snow. Good night, everybody. Appreciate you, Paul. I appreciate you too, Cat Snow. It's been wonderful getting to know you here. Rush Dash. I won't be here on the 15th. I'm going out of town. All I can say is safe travels, and I hope it goes well for you. All right, Harold Houseman. Should be a good game in St. Louis. Oven. Yeah, it's going to be a nasty one. Oh, boy. Roger Bassman. Needed a win like this. I completely agree. Have a good night. Be well, Edgar. Great call, Paul. Well, thank you, Harold. Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. Good evening, chat. I'll bounce into the chat on my lunch break tomorrow. You guys better be good. Oh, I'll keep an eye out for him. Jimmy Otero, hot dog. Great calling, Paul D. Well, thank you, Jimmy Otero. C. John, great call, Paul E. D. Thank you, C. John. I hope you have a great night. David Hodge, Paul, I am warming up my amp and my guitar. Burley, the unsung hero tonight. He always puts in there something. Dennis Gildersleeve. It's always good to see you, Dennis. Have a good night, all. You too, Dennis. Zeke. See you tomorrow at 1:05. Cheers to that. Harold Houseman, be there or be square. I know how you feel. Raja. Great job, Birds. Great call, Paul D. See you, chap. Have a good night, Raja. Joe Breeding. Appreciate you, chat. I appreciate you, Paul. Everybody did a fantastic job. Be well, Brother Joe. Prairie Game MVP. He's definitely right there. Winner, winner, chicken and dumpling dinner. Oh, yeah, I see where you went with that one. So this has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. I'll be back tomorrow for the 1:15 p.m. scheduled first pitch from Busch. I'll be live here on Game Mike at 1:05 p.m. Central Time for the play-by-play live stream. I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bombers Game Mike over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be. Thank you all so much. 2-0 Redbirds over the Phillies is your final in Game 2, the rubber match tomorrow. You all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow afternoon.